My name is Mariah Hunter, and today I would like to be talking to you about the dangers of casual plastic use and what it's doing to the animals and some steps to prevent the plastic ending up in the ocean. We are all voyagers. What you carry with you and what you leave behind define who you are. Erickson from National Geographic talked about the steps being taken around the world to reduce plastic use and promote reusable items, such as water bottles, grocery bags, and straws. In general, in the United States, we know that some restaurants have been taking steps to reduce the use of straws by only giving the customers one if they ask for one. And we also have discussed the biodegradable issue as far as plastic bags and it being able to be broken down easier so that it virtually disappears whenever it gets to like a certain age, but we just know that that does not happen. And today I want to talk about how much plastic is in the ocean in general and what it's doing to the animals and how it's ending up in our food and the dangers of that. I believe that small action can cause a ripple of positive effects for the environment. This past week, I've been studying how much actual plastic is in the ocean and what types of animals are being affected by it and what it's doing to them and how it's ending up in our food. And I've also learned about a lot of the plastic is like extremely hard to break down. But at the same time, there's also a huge amount of microplastic found in the ocean, which is the majority of the plastic. I have also looked at a diagram of microplastic and how it settles and floats. Through research in general, I've learned that there's a change that needs to be needed. I would like to inform you how it ends up in the ocean, what it's doing to the marine life, and the steps that you can take to reduce it. The plastic beads in your face wash are traveling down the drain straight into the ocean. The trash ends up in landfills, and the biggest landfill is the one in the ocean. New Scientist magazine has stated that the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is 1.6 million square kilometers from California to Hawaii. And broken down microplastic is hard to break down, but it's also very extremely easy to ingest for the animals. Recycling is a must, and I'm going to tell you why. Plastic makes up 70% of the sea's rubbish, said Jolia Lamb, scuba diver and researcher. Plastic is buoyant and, like I said, extremely hard to break down. Second, I would like to address the effects it has on marine life. Debris causes a threat to seabirds, turtles, fish, and crustaceans. And we know that in general, when it affects those animals, things like sharks, dolphins, stingrays, anything that eats those type of animals are also being affected because when they're unable to reproduce and it's getting into their digestive tract, that is killing the food source for animals higher above the food chain. Casual plastic use, like I've said, is extremely dangerous. More science researcher says that the plastic on the surface currently outweighs zooplankton 6-1. And also an academic journal that I have found titled Plastic Not Fantastic has stated that the plastic being ingested is making animals unable to swim from prey. So like those plastic tabs on the soda cans are causing them to be unable to swim from prey. The digesting of plastic is blocking their tracks and it's hurting their stomach linings and in general reducing the want to feed, so it is killing off many animals. As far as the trash on the surface, I've done a lot of research and it's stating that a lot of the trash that's on the surface is things like plastic bags. And like in general, if you're going to the grocery store once a week, you're at least bringing home at least like 20 bags of plastic, and if you're not recycling, you're throwing them away and most likely they're ending up in the ocean. but the trash unspecific blocks food sources for multiple microorganisms. And how it does that is it prevents oxygen and light for things like microalgae to grow, which is the food source for worms, clams, and mussels. And like I said, that is if those things like worms, clams, and mussels are food sources for fish. And whenever trash is like being put into the ocean, it travels throughout the current. It doesn't just stay in one place. Currently, it is stated that there are 5.2 trillion particles of plastic in the ocean, weighing 268.940 tons. In 2017, researchers found a fishing crate on an Easter island that has floated some 4,000 miles from its South Pacific origin. Lastly, I would like to talk about the steps to reduce plastic waste. And I know many of you think that the answer is just reducing plastic by using things like water bottles, food containers, and just anything in general that you can reuse, like straws and things like that. But that's not just it. It can just be as small as the next time you're at the beach to pick up the trash that you see, because a lot of it in general is pushed onto the shore. And I would like you to know that plastic is in virtually anything, even including gum. So like I said, reusing cereal containers and leftover containers can benefit and reduce plastic and the throwing away of plastic. Next time I challenge you to bring a reusable straw to a restaurant, or just don't use one at all. You may not mind. Reducing plastic waste and being knowledgeable in the subject should create a positive change. It's important to know that most of the trash thrown away ends up in the ocean, and it's invading marine life habitats. So the same as carbon dioxide, and that type of pollution in the air for our habitat is just as dangerous as what we are doing to the animals of the sea. And it's causing animals to be unable to reproduce. So eventually, if that continues, animals will become extinct and we'll no longer have things like our beloved sea turtles. I hope from this that you all can recognize the danger in casual plastic use and realize that pollution is in fact life-threatening. Thank you for listening.